Okay, welcome to section two for our interview with Noah Turner, and we're very excited to be joined with him. He's a tight end out of James Madison University, and it's my pleasure to introduce Noah. Noah, how are you?
Doing great. How about you guys?
We're doing the very
Yeah,
best,
doing
thank
great.
you.
Doing great. Yeah, it's amazing that you could come on, and it's as Zach said, it's a pleasure to have you. Uh, jumping into things, football for you, it's massive. Obviously, that's your main sport, and you love playing the game. I kind of want to know how you got into it. What's your roots growing up? What was the
Sure.
kind of catalyst for you playing the game of football?
Yeah, well, I actually got a little bit of an interesting story because I never started playing football till high school. So,
Right.
it was growing up, I only played basketball, baseball, and that's just kind of how my dad wanted to, to go about it because,
Yeah, yeah.
head injury, whatever. But, Little League football is not too serious.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a lot of football in my blood. My grandpa actually played at Purdue and my uncle played at Indiana. So,
Right. Very good.
it was always in my blood, and I always knew I was going to play, being a bigger kid growing up and whatnot. And
Yeah.
played my
Yeah.
freshman year and loved it, and the rest is history.
That's it, because you're 6'3" and you're 242. Am I right in saying?
Yeah,
And that
yeah,
you, as you say, you're tall enough to be playing basketball. If you chose that
yeah,
path, I'm sure you could be playing there. But you're going into this season. You're a redshirt senior, and we kind of want to know what went into this. So you played your first kind of bit of college ball at University of North Carolina.
hmm
How was that? And I kind of want to know what was the transition from high school into the kind of Division 1 football like for you, and what kind of went into the transition there?
yeah. So deciding to go to North Carolina, it was just it was an unbelievable opportunity. Like I said, my grandfather and uncle played in the Big Ten, and I kind of wanted to go out and do something
Hmm.
different.
Hmm.
And so going to North Carolina, and I'm from Chicago, so it's
Hmm.
pretty far away from home, and it was a great opportunity. I got to learn a lot. I was really on my own. My parents were never there, so I grew as a lot as a football player, but also like outside the game and whatnot. And
Hmm.
yeah, it was an awesome experience. I got to be around a lot of great players and learn a lot
Hmm.
of good things. Had some really good coaches, and I think it really propelled me and helped me grow through the game. And it's kind of landed me at JMU. And stuff like that. So yeah, it was awesome.
And obviously, University of North Carolina, you're from Chicago. There's another link there with Michael Jordan. Obviously,
Yep,
North
of
Carolina
course.
is a very big basketball school, and we all know of Michael Jordan through probably the Last Chance U here in the UK. Or sorry, not Last Chance U. What was the documentary called? The Last
Ooh,
Dance, of
Yeah,
course.
last
Yeah,
chance
yeah, yeah.
yes,
you. That's
that's
one of
it.
them. Yep.
Last dance. Yep.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And you alluded to the fact that you used to play for University of North Carolina and now you play for JMU. Take us through that. What went into that decision? And, was there moments for you to learn life lessons there, a moment of adversity for you?
Oh, I mean, definitely. I think a lot of my time at UNC, I struggled with I didn't get the opportunity to play as much as I would like, and that it is what it is, and I'm not salty about it. And I think it really
Hmm.
made me a great player. I had great players in
Hmm.
front of me, tight ends that I got to learn a bunch from, and when the new staff came in, I played one season under them, and then kind of looked
Hmm.
different directions, and I just thought I'd have better opportunities going elsewhere, and it was very difficult. I'll be honest, because it was the end of the season, and then
Hmm.
it was maybe like I committed to JMU pretty early on, but what really threw it all off was COVID. It was
Mm.
I was
Yep.
transitioning
Yep.
schools during that entire time, and that I think in general probably going to a different school was pretty hard. But COVID on top of that definitely added some adversity, and
Hmm.
like you said, it was a huge learning experience for me because it's almost like getting up and just moving and doing a new job somewhere else that you've never worked there, you don't know anybody and
Hmm.
anything along those lines. But now being here for a year or whatnot, it's been a unbelievable opportunity, and I'm very
Hmm.
thankful to have it. So I think I grew a lot definitely as a player, because
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
feel those 4 years of being at UNC didn't get to show my capabilities or talents too
Hmm.
much,
Hmm.
not as much as I would like, and but I kept working, kept busting my butt off, and now hopefully I get to show the rest of those abilities
Hmm.
and skills out here at JMU.
Yeah.
Yes, because you missed the 2017 season due to an injury.
Yep.
Am I right?
Yep.
What injury was that, Noah? Could you fill us in on that?
Yeah, I had a knee surgery, I had meniscus,
Right.
and I got it
Oh,
repaired. And that was after redshirting my freshman year,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it was like 2 seasons right off the bat I wasn't playing. So it was got put behind the 8 ball a little bit, but with that scenario. But I never saw it as a downfall or anything like that, and just an opportunity to keep getting better.
And then the 2018, 2019 seasons for University of North Carolina, you played in 24 career games, which is, I suppose, it's not as many as you appeared, and you didn't start those games, but that gave you a wee bit of experience on the field. Then moving over to JMU, you got to play 2 years there. Am I right? You got to play a 2020 season, which was you finished the season 14-2, unbeaten at home, 8-0 at home. Am I right in saying? Sorry, maybe more than that. But unbeaten at home anyway. And then this spring season, you went 7-1, unbeaten at home as well. So you've kind of talked us through, how it changed you as a player and how you got much more reps on the field. Your tape does tell the tale. I watched some of your highlights against Sam Houston there, and amazing performance from you. What would you say is your strong suits on, kind of both on the field in terms of your ability, but off the field as well in terms of your intangibles?
Yeah. Well, coming in high school, I ran a triple option offense, and that's majority blocking. Normally, triple option offenses don't even run with the tight end, but my high school did. And my strong suit's always been blocking. I've always been a great blocker. But then once I got to the college level, I realized myself, got told by coaches, so on, that, you got to be able to do both. And I thought I could do both in high school, and I did, but it was more so I would just run down the field, and, we'd have a quarterback throw it up to me, and I would just catch and run because we ran the ball 70 times a game. And, so I'd say right now my strong suits are definitely blocking. That's where I feel really strong at, confident at. And, I'm just starting to scrape the surface now with running routes and getting crafty and, having the ball and being able to run after the catch. And that's, what I'm going to continue to work on. I'm going to continue to work on both and just improve as all-around tight end.
And with that, you ask your UK fan a bit about, if you ask them about the tight end position, they'll be able to tell you there's 2 parts. There's blocking and receiving, and I'm kind of curious, like, do you have a preference with that? And also, how do you sharpen both skills, your blocking and receiving, and staying ready, for those opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, anytime I ever get this question asked, I say, it's hard for me to decide because there's nothing better than being able to bury a guy and put him in the ground and then come back the next play and score a touchdown. So it's like, I like both sides of the aspect. I think obviously the blocking part is not the glorious part of the position, but it's part of it, and it's like, I think you watch any tight end play in a big game or whatnot like that, 80% of the time he's sitting there blocking somebody, nobody really cares, but then he gets the big play or whatnot like that. And I can't say I have much of a preference for either of them. I just, I take that as a part of my identity and as a player, and that I can do both. And it's awesome to have. In terms of, sharpening those skills, it's just a long time ago, I just adopted a motto of just, focusing on details and, just really paying attention to whether it's blocking or catching. I watch guys, run routes all the time in person. Even if it's a slot receiver that's, a million times faster than me, I can still learn something from how he's running, how he's doing that or this. And then even watching an offensive lineman, like, how does he move? I mean, it's those are like the most, unbelievable humans to watch. They're 6'5" and 320 pounds, and they're running around like, I know. And it's so overshadowed in football what an offensive lineman can do. But when you watch a good one play, you can really learn a lot, especially as a tight end. So I think it's, I'm really into attention to detail with anything I'm doing, blocking, running, catching, formations, anything like that. And then it's just, busting my butt like day in, day out, and just keep grinding and believing in myself that I'm going to get better the next day and so on.
Going back to that Sam Houston game, there was a specific play. It's up on your Instagram account, the QB kind of dropped back. You were initially blocking. It was a blocking assignment.
Yep.
Then you kind of broke from that. You ran downfield. The QB found you in open space. You ran to about, say, the 15. Got tackled, broke the tackle,
Mhm.
and then ended up at the 2-yard line, nearly in the
Yeah.
end zone. Not quite, but an amazing play there. You know, James Madison has an amazing kind of culture around it, and you
Yeah.
look at that game against Sam Houston. You know, even a team like that who went on to now win the spring season there.
Yeah.
What is the culture there, and how does that come about that you do go unbeaten at home over 2 seasons? What kind of goes on behind the scenes there that leads to that?
I think it's definitely the coaching, and it's just there's that winning mentality here. I'd say it's the coaching, it's the players, and the biggest thing, it's just you win here. It's like you guys said, FCS, they're competitive every year. We're winning, going to the national championship almost every year and going far. But it's that environment. It's around the school. It's around with the coaches. It's in the facility. It's with the players. It's like head to toe. There's that swagger, or I'd call it swagger, just on campus that we win here. And it seems because how many schools could say that every year? You got in the FBS level, you got Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. You got all those big teams, and you're kind of like, what's different? And those are only 4 teams that are competing with the championship every year. But then you come down to the FCS level, and you got North Dakota State, you got us, throwing a few other teams there, and it's like it's the same thing. It's everyone's competing for that national championship, regardless of level. And I just feel like that's what we have here. It's that, everyone works hard. They understand that we're a championship team, and you just carry that. And it's illuminating throughout the facility and the coaches and just everywhere on campus here. It's awesome.
I think, as we watch the NFL, and it's the Patriots as the team that's been dominant for years. And I think, whenever you reflect upon that and you're explaining it, I definitely see that within Bill Belichick and the way that those players command themselves this is the way we do it. We know we win, and this is just the expectation. And, that's incredible. And my question to you as well is, you've played at high school football, you've played at college level, University of North Carolina, and now at JMU. And is there a moment that stands out for you as a highlight, a career highlight, one particular game maybe, or a play or an achievement?
I think the first was probably that Sam Houston catch I had. It was the first time that I've really gotten I've had a few catches here and there, but that was the first time in a big stage and atmosphere like that I got the ball in my hands, and I was just let's go. I can it was an awesome opportunity to get that, and very grateful for that. And I think another one was just not in what's involved with football, but as was receiving my first scholarship. I think that was a moment, because it was only after 2 years of me ever playing football, and I got a scholarship offer from University of Illinois, and it was just kind of one of those moments like, wow, maybe I do belong here, and maybe I can play football, because at the time, I was just starting to play. So it was, both those moments are very standout for me, and I think I'm very grateful to have both of them.
You mentioned your great years there in University of North Carolina years, where you're kind of growing, and then moving to JMU, where you've kind of got a wee bit more kind of you've got more reps, you've got more opportunity, and then you have that amazing catch against Sam Houston. Obviously, the path finishes trying to get to the NFL. That's your final destination. How, we do see JMU alumni make it in the league. We see Ben DiNucci. You maybe played with him last year. Daniel Brown, another tight end, he's with the Jets. Are you confident that you can make it at the next level? And if you are, which I 100% believe, watching your highlights and tape, that I believe in you, what are you doing at the moment to give yourself the success, or the chance of success at that next level?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like pretty surreal that you even say that, or we have the conversation to say it. And I really think it comes down to just, it's been self-belief, every day. And since I started playing the game since North Carolina, and what I've learned through all the ups and downs, it's just the consistency of I can play in the NFL. Maybe it's at this moment, I'm not really showing it to anyone or doing anything like that, but it's like that's constant self-belief. It feels like I haven't stopped believing that I could do that since, I walked on campus at UNC or started playing in high school. And, I've kind of touched on it already earlier, is just, it's a day-by-day process. My goal is to make it to the NFL. Of course, that's in the future, but I gotta start tomorrow. I gotta do something tomorrow that's going to get me one step closer. And then it goes on to the team. What can I do to help this team win more, especially being this close to, the big game and whatnot. So it's just a day-by-day process, and, and self-belief that I am going to make it there. And first, let's win with this team and get the season going. I'm ready to go already, even though it's weird. We just finished playing in the spring.
That's brilliant. And I think, it's the sort of goes back to that old mantra of, we get 1% better every day. And, it's just continually improving on your game. And I think, it's so important to remember that, and so important to be committed to that. And, and so Ross and I are definitely going to be rooting for you. And hopefully, whenever you're playing in the NFL, you'll come back. You'll come back and talk to us on the podcast.
Yeah,
and
of course.
When you're with an NFL team, which I 100% believe. Of course. There's so many guys getting their chance in the league. And Jack and I 100% after watching, your tape, we think that you can make it at the next level. And we're looking forward to seeing you on a Sunday.
Thank you.
Let's move over to a few trivial questions now, Noah. There's a few big moves in the NFL. I don't know if you keep up with them all, but I think the major one, especially being a tight end yourself, Tim Tebow has moved to tight end. Yeah. Let's get your opinion on that. What do you think?
It's been pretty hard. There's a lot of indifference with it, I think. There's a lot of people are saying that, does he really deserve it? He hasn't played football in 10 years. And, I really like what Tim Tebow, represents and who he is as a man. He tried to play quarterback, didn't really work out in the NFL. He's a great college player. He went and tried to play baseball, and now he's playing a tight end position. It just seems like he's regardless of, I don't even know his age, he's probably close to 30, if not older now, but it just seems like he's a kid that doesn't stop dreaming, really. It's like, oh, he didn't work out as a quarterback, I'm going to go try baseball now. Regardless of what level you make it, I think it's a, cool opportunity, but I also see the hindsight of who is the other tight end that was maybe fighting for him. And now Tim Tebow just steps in. He's never played the position, it takes some, it's a little different to
because you'd hate to be that guy who's worked all his life to be that tight to get that tight end spot on the Jaguars, and then for him to just walk in and take it, it would be awful. And I want to move kind of across to JMU guys who I mentioned here in the league. Ben DiNucci and also Mitch Trubisky. I don't know if you had any time with him when you were in North Carolina there. What do you like those guys? Do you get along with those guys? What do you think? How Ben DiNucci, he was drafted in 2020. He got a bit of an opportunity this year when Dak Prescott went down. Now it maybe didn't work out for him as much as he'd like to hope, but I think if he trains hard and continues on, he's obviously still with Dallas, and he will get more opportunities there. Mitchell Trubisky, obviously he's had a few years in the NFL, maybe hasn't worked out. Now he has reached the playoffs a few times. He's on the Bills now. Maybe a second chance, a chance to kind of recuperate and refresh the system. What are your opinions on those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I never got to know DiNucci too much, but I've heard nothing but great things about him from the guys around here. I've heard he's just kind of the same thing I was talking about. He's got that swagger to him. He's got that winner mentality. And, he had his opportunity very early on at Dallas, which is, it's hard. It's really hard, especially, a quarterback position is very difficult. And, he got put on the spotlight, and, I've heard they have positive feedback for him and whatnot like that. But Mitch was somebody, I got to know really well. Obviously, being from Chicago, he got drafted there. So he lived really close to me, about 10, 15 minutes from me, from my actual home. And, he was a great player to have at UNC, and just, he's a great leader. It was awesome to watch him then, even though, I was just on the sidelines redshirting and whatnot. And, I'd go home and I'd get to throw and catch with him every once in a while. And he's just, he's a great kid. I hope I hope nothing but success for him. And he's had a tough go in Chicago, but, I was sad to see him leave. And I think he's a great kid, and he's going to be in the NFL for a really long time.
And something that we like to do in the podcast, just to finish off, is now I know we're in the month of June, but football never sleeps, football never stops.
Never.
And so we've been asking every single guest we've had way too early Super Bowl predictions. So Noah, we want to know, who do you think will be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy next February?
I want to put Tom Brady back in there again.
Oh, he said it. You're one of those guys. No, you see, I'm sick and tired of seeing him in Super Bowls.
I couldn't give you an opinion on another team, but I just love. I think he's going to do it again, and I think he goes in there and at least makes it again. Yeah, I think I got to go with Tom Brady. I think he wins it all, and then he calls it quits.
Yeah, it's a safe bet, Noah.
You think
he calls it quits?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I see personally.
That's a hot take.
I think it'll be Adam Vinatieri age, or Frank. Well, I know Frank Gore's younger than him, but he'll be well into his 60s before he decides actually I've got enough jewelry.
Right, come on, Zach. Now let's calm down a bit.
I can see the Chiefs in there again too.
Yeah.
Chiefs. I see. This is the thing about the Chiefs. They've got a completely new offensive line. I don't think that it meshes together as nicely as you might think this year. A team that I do think will kind of reach the big game is the Chargers. And it's strange. Last year, they finished with was it about 3 or 4 wins? Justin Herbert, a guy from Oregon, he might lift them out of that rut.
Yeah, that's a great call. He's a great quarterback.
Another question actually on that note that I want to ask is, just to finish things off completely, college, you look at the championship game there, it was Alabama and Ohio State. Who do you think will be in that big game? 2021, 2022? That's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, difficult question, because I'm going to put Alabama in there again. I think I'm going to, and but it's hard just because all those schools like Ohio State, they don't have Justin Fields. Clemson, like what's Clemson going to be without a Trevor Lawrence?
Exactly.
I know. Well, they've got.
I hope to God that we find some sleeper teams in there this year. But I think, of course, Alabama will be in the championship game, and we'll go with Clemson, because I know they got that young stud quarterback.
Yeah, DJ. It's hard name to pronounce now. Is it? It starts with a U. Something. Could be wrong now, but no, I do hope there's a few sleeper teams in there.
Yeah, I hope. UNC, we'll see. They lost a lot of guys to the NFL, but Sam Howell. I hope to God they get their chance to get in there. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
100%. And here, James Madison for it all next year. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I can guarantee 100%. That one.
I'm with you there. No, we're backing you this year. It's been great to have you on, Noah. Thanks so much for joining us. And when you make it to the pros, we'll have you on again, because we have said before, we 100% believe in you, Noah. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for everything.